It's time for Veterans Issues, the show that brings you information about veterans, military, and their family. Now here's your host, Ken Rollins.
Welcome to Veterans Issues. Appreciate you tuning in this week. I got two guests today. One of them is Army, one of them is Air Force and retired. And we're going to talk about a lot of things, including the city of Piedmont. We'll be right back. Get your pen. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. Ken Rollins here. Today's guests, two guests, a friend of mine from up in, one of them's a friend of mine, one I'm meeting for the first time. One of them is Rick Freeman. He's a former mayor of the city of Piedmont. He's a disabled veteran, retired U.S. Army. And Art Lyle, who's retired U.S. Air Force. Welcome to the show, Art. He nearly got that right, but he didn't get it all the way. We'll get to next time.
Hey, it's a pleasure, Ken.
All right, we're going to work on it because he's Air Force. We do give him a little slack on it now.
You guys give them a little slack, Ken.
All right.
They're not used to that.
Well, welcome back, Rick. It's good to have you back on here, buddy.
Glad to be here.
And,
thank you so much.
For a little background, some of the folks that, like I said, you used to be the mayor of Piedmont, and we're going to talk about something going on up there that's real important to veterans. But right now, and you're with the DAV. You're still the commander of the DAV?
I'm still the commander of the local chapter of Pike State Commander. So.
Well, you know, that still make you my commander, because I'm a member of that
yes,
DAV.
You are.
Do you know that?
You just need to come to the meeting every once in a while.
That's too far from Piedmont, man. I have to pack up a bag to go to Piedmont.
That'd be fine.
17, 18 miles.
You can stay at the house. That'd be great.
Yeah, Art, good to have you on the show, buddy.
Good to be here, sir.
And you served in the Air Force how many years?
20 years, 4 months, 26 days.
When was that?
From 1962 to 1982.
62 to 80. You were during the Vietnam.
Three tours in Vietnam.
Did you? Okay. You got to go see the beautiful Southeast Asia with the rest of us. It is a beautiful country.
It is a beautiful country.
People don't realize that. We kind of made some dents in it, but it's still a beautiful place. Now, you're from this area?
I was born and raised in Piedmont.
Really?
Left when I was 17. Joined the Air Force, got an education.
Joined the Air. Yeah, a lot of people got a way to get drafted. I had to get a waiver to go in at 17. You have to get a waiver? Somebody signed for you?
My mother signed for me.
There you go. A lot of people don't realize they do. How old was you, Rick?
I was 18.
18.
And my dad, his retired military. He had just got back from Nam, so it wasn't much of a choice.
Yeah.
So he took care of me.
I listen to Art talking about the education. That's a big thing nowadays. A lot of people are going in for that. You can't beat it. You don't get your education in the, well, if you're going for education, you don't necessarily get it in the Army college. You go to colleges in the vicinity. The Army pays for it. The Air Force pays for it. But you do get another education that you can't pay for.
That's right. You get an education that you'll never forget. You have that camaraderie with people you meet that you'll never forget, and it's a life experience, a survival experience also.
Yeah. Well, I grew up picking cotton, pimento peppers, pulling corn, whatever. And when I went into service, I was with people that I had never associated with before. I even had Yankees in there with me, man.
I had a Canadian.
I had guys from Joyce, and it was a learning experience, and I'd recommend it for everybody that's got a kid out there that wants to find out what they want to do in life. Give them a couple of years in the military.
I feel like some of the things that's caused our society to be like it is now is when they stopped the draft because they lost that responsibility and learning how to survive for themselves, things. And I know that a lot of people, the military is really hard. I grew up in a military family. My father was in the military, and it's a lot different living on a military base. But I just feel like the education you get for 2 to 3 years is something you'll never forget.
When you see you turn on the TV now and you see these young kids, as I say young kids, they're 30, 31 years old out there protesting and marching, and you ask them what they're marching for, we don't know. You know, we just march. And if you had the draft and they had to give a couple of years, first off, they would have to be serving, but when they come out, they wouldn't feel like they do. These are just running like a car without a steering wheel. They have no direction to go. They don't know what they stand for. And if you get in their face, you're under space. You know, you violate every little thing, and everything's politically correct. But anyhow, Art, you do have something to do with homeless veterans, or what are you doing on that? I noticed you had something in your notes about
Well, I started out with the food bank in Piedmont.
Okay.
My wife and one other lady started that. My wife wrote all the paperwork up and got that going.
That's not just for homeless veterans.
No, it's
though.
not. It's just for anyone. Well, I work with Rick.
Can I
in
come up
Piedmont.
here and get something to eat?
Sure.
Yes.
You tell I need a little,
We both do.
need to put some meat on these bones.
I stepped aside and let other people run that. I tend to start programs and get them running, and then I step aside and let somebody else run.
I know what you mean. But the homeless veteran program is something real. I serve on the State Board of Veterans Affairs, and that issue came up a couple of times, and I'm skeptical because I've come up on some veterans that said, "We'll work for food." And first thing I find out, they're not really veterans.
That's true.
And secondly, if you offer them work, they got a bad back, bad shoulder, they can't work. So I was skeptical to say the least. So I asked for a feasibility study, and we did one. It took over a year. And we found out that there were 700 and something legitimate homeless veterans in Alabama at that time. And look at some of the data, and you know where the most of them live? Did you have any idea where they say they spend most of their time living?
Let's say Birmingham.
No,
No.
in the wooded areas.
Oh, well, I thought that was city.
In wooded areas,
Yes.
not in the communities, not in the old buildings, but where is that population concentrated? Interstate exits and things where there's wooded areas, where there's businesses and stuff that they can go into the woods and then solicit next to the businesses. But, and we found that, they're there by choice. A lot of them have direct deposit funds coming, drawing disability, 50, 60, maybe 70%.
I have those.
But they don't want to be associated with family or friends or whatever. They just want to be alone, and that's, of course, you go back to the man instinct. Wants to go up in the woods and camping and stuff like that. So
Well, I know the VA has some of the best programs. I know the DAV does, and the
they
Legion.
have 3 hots and a
Yeah,
cot.
3 Hots in a Cot is an outstanding program. I was commander when they had the one there that's in Center Point. They started it, and we had visited it. Our scout troop around Piedmont had gone there and carried things for Christmas. And they had a great time. The kids got a very good education that day. Met with the guys and the ladies there, and it was a good for them. And I think if any veteran wants to be homeless, that's by his own choice. There's
Yeah.
too many programs out there.
Well, you
not to
remember
do.
the old guys in Anniston, they called him Sarge. He walked up and down the street.
Yes, sure do.
Well, when
They're
he
Wendy's.
passed on, I got the phone call. That man had more money than most cities in his bank account. And he was there by choice. And he died at that time. It was a Victoria, the final, whatever it's called now. The beautiful home. He was living there, but he was not homeless. But he appeared to be. That's a thing out there that you can help them. But me and my daughter will go around and we go through Anniston and different places, and we got these little brown bags, got little things in it. We don't question how they got there, whatever. We just give it to them, and we have taken blankets out there during the wintertime. So anyhow, and you said you're still the commander of DAV.
Still the commander. Stayed very busy. We've done a lot of claims. Like I said, this past week, I've got 14 claims to be mailed out this week. So a lot of veterans are really getting educated. We're asking our veterans, don't sit and wait till your health is really bad or you're close to death. Let's get those claims done now. We have chapters. Ours is in Piedmont. We have Chapter 98 in Anniston. And so there's no excuse for those claims. Plus, you have the county claims offices. We want these veterans to get out and get what they earned.
Yeah, we got to go to a break.
Okay.
And stay right there. We'll come back. We got more with Art and Rick. Stay where you are. Get a pen. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. Now, when we left, we were talking about the DAV filing claims, and Rick, you said, don't wait until the last minute to get about dead. Now, that's a serious deal out there, because so many times they do wait the last minute, and then the spouse has to end up trying to put it together
Yes.
for survivor benefits after that person's passed on.
That's true. And they don't realize it makes it a lot easier on the spouse if they are service connected and their paperwork's there. It's kind of hard to wait. I have a friend right now was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I stayed on him for years and years about, he's a Vietnam veteran, about getting his claims done, and they waited till the last minute. Now, the time's clicking. So please, guys and gals, if you're out there and you got a claim, let's get them done. Don't wait till the last second.
One of the
Let's get 'em
things
done.
is the CNP. Everybody, we know what a CNP is. When you get a CNP, that's a compensation and pensions visit with a doctor, most of the time in Birmingham. And they want to, they'll evaluate you to see if you really do meet what their doctor said
Right.
you got. If he says you got neuropathy, they will, they'll evaluate you, and then they'll send their results to Montgomery. I've had people that they were in the process of filing, and after they passed on, that person will receive everything for a CNP, and they already been buried for a month.
Right.
So that's a good example of waiting too
It
late.
is, and it's something other day I was watching a show the other night. You brought up about pre-planning funerals.
Yeah,
And that is, you know, a lot of the guys, they'll wait. They don't tell their family where their 214s are at or any of their military records. Please get those. If you're doing a pre-plan, give that 214 to that funeral home so they'll have that, because it's very hard. It's hard on the family trying to get everything done together. You know, if they need a military funeral, the funeral homes have to have a 48-hour, 72-hour window.
to do a
And-
military
Yeah, that's
funeral.
right. And
Do
you're
you-
depriving yourself. If you don't have that, you're
Yeah.
depriving your.
And you don't have to give it to the funeral home right necessarily. That's a good thing to do, but you at least let some people in your home
know where they're
know
at.
what's this.
That's right.
All right, you go. Where's your DD 214 located?
Yes, I do.
I mean, does your family?
Yes, they do.
There you go. And do they have instructions on how to bury you and all this stuff?
Yes.
Good. I mean, I'm down. I've got mine typed out from my daughter now. What to put me in, what to wear, what I wear. I even got my own obituary typed out with a few blanks. I ain't got the date in there yet, but I can't put that in there yet.
I went that far.
But I mean, I've done that because the pre-planned burial policy I was talking about. I see this so many times. The worst thing you can do to a family, other than suicide, I guess, or something that hurts a family, is to not prepare for your death. That they're sitting there grieving your loss, and then trying to figure out where they're going to get the money to pay the funeral home. That goes on probably every day.
It does.
Yes.
It does.
And that is a cruel thing to do to a family. And when it's so easy to do, just go to the funeral home and say, I want to do a pre-planned funeral for my dad. And his name is so-and-so. And you can pay so much a month. And it doesn't hurt. I did it for 2 years, didn't even know it was coming. It was direct deposit. And I got that little certificate that said, your funeral's paid. I put that over where my daughter knows exactly. I got a safety deposit box, everything. But let's get, one of the things I wanted to do here today, both of you are from Piedmont, so either way you want to do this. I heard about something, and it went down to the bottom of my feet. It was a very hurtful thing that your city is doing. Now, I got some ties in Piedmont. I went to Oaks Bluff, and every other night we was up in Piedmont. But you got a veterans park there. And the wisdom of the city council and the mayor has decided to put a skate park, a skating facility, inside the park, the Veterans Park.
Correct.
Now, I'm imagining up at Arlington Cemetery, somebody decided to put a roller rink in up there. First of all, it's a disgrace. Secondly, it's exploiting them, and it's so rude and it's so wrong. It's so unpatriotic. What did I miss on that?
Kenny, it's just hard to explain. There were so many other locations to put this place. That park was dedicated back in the 80s. I was fortunate enough to be on that committee. I was on active duty at Montgomery at Headquarters Star. They built that monument, started off. Then phase two, our DAV chapter and the American Legion there, we had spent over $65,000 on that park, on benches, monuments. We redid everything. We had plans to do other things. To me, that is hollow ground. It's a place that you can go meditate. It's a place you can go honor those that you knew. A lot of those, I have family on the World War II side and World War I side. I have friends that I was in school with on the Korea and on the Vietnam side.
Let me stop you there.
Okay.
You're having, in the park, you have Memorial Day services
Right.
there. You also have Veterans Day services there. 'Cause
Right.
I've been invited to some of them. You're having a Memorial Day service, and you're having moments of silence, and you're having taps played and all these things, and you're remembering it's a day of remembrance, and all of a sudden here comes a skateboard flying through the air. Or you hear somebody swearing. bad words over there next to it because somebody cut them off with a skateboard. I've seen this, and so I know what I'm talking about. Did anybody, you think, at the City Hall have any idea of what they're doing there regarding that?
No, a lot of it's just political pressure, and I'm not against the kids having a place. I mean,
Absolutely
really,
not.
we had the Civic Center. It already had the tennis court not being used. It's been a beautiful place for it. When I was mayor, we talked about putting it there, the complex. But the veterans part, no. It's just too much there. Like I said, when my brother passed away, I went to sit on that bench to clear my head. When my father passed away, I swear I went and sit on that bench that night at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I said to y'all in the green room, a city is sometimes measured by the way it remembers those who fought for its freedom.
That's true.
Now, you go in all around Piedmont and you go in the city of Oxford, we just put a park over there, a Veterans Park, right next to the Civic Center. You come down the interstate, see all those flags, that's just been done. I mean, putting it in, not tearing it up and taking it out, but building it. I just got a call from Mayor Weaver last night. He's wanting to build his park there in Weaver. Build one, not tear it down. In the city of Anniston, look what we got there. And still building on and fixing to add some more. That is a measure of your people. That is a measure. And so now we got in Piedmont. Now, the reason I said about the skateboards, in the city of Anniston, they had skateboards in there until they put the signs in there and got them out. And a skateboard took this chunk out of the Vietnam Memorial this big. Those things, and they're not little children either.
Which I know that the park's being built away from some of our monuments, but like we was talking a while ago, you get that itch about you want to go around the track. The next thing you know, that concrete's where our monuments are at, or smooth. You got there, then there's an accident. The Veterans Park, to me, you look at the one in Lineville, the one at Oxford, at Anniston, even at Ohatchee, the Civil War monument stuff there. That is a place for history. We're asking ourselves, why are our young people are not patriotic anymore? If they're not educated, that's it. This way, when you put things there, there's more traffic. We took our mayor from Piedmont about a year or two ago to Georgia to look at the one right across the state line, that Veterans Park there. Everybody was all fired up to do it.
Well, look, we got less than a minute. What can they do?
Well, they've already started now.
Can they move? Can this be relocated?
No, they've already spent the money.
I mean, can your memorial?
Yes, we're in the process, and Art is going to be talking to an individual. We're in the process maybe moving to another location. The message that I sent you that the young guy had posted on Facebook, and remember when you posted, the remark he made, well, that's the best place for our veterans because the ducks can go down there and do their stuff on the monuments.
Yeah.
Very disrespectful
Yeah.
to veterans. And like I said, your heart's with veterans, my heart's with veterans, Art's that's too.
I appreciate it. We run out of time, boy. I'll tell you, I'm going to be talking about this for a while. I ain't going to let it go. We got to go to a break. Come back. I got news that you can use. Stay right there. Welcome back. I appreciate Rick and Art coming in and do the show. And before I go, I still got Rick here with me. Rick, you got something you want to give me there, buddy?
Ken, like I said, I've been on your show a bunch of times.
Okay.
And there's always, my mother was your biggest fan. And she always said, take care of Ken.
All right.
This
Honor
is the
and
flag,
remembrance.
your new park you was building for law enforcement people.
Turn it up.
And we
Yeah.
want this to give it to you to honor those who have given their life, the police officers and fire departments and everybody out there in public safety is just important because our veterans. So we want this to give to you, to whatever park you want to put to fly in honor of our vets, public safety people, and just thank you for having us
I
there.
appreciate that so much. Thank you, Rick. And we will definitely put that where it needs to be. I got a place for it right now. Now remember this number I give you every week. It's 855-948-2311. 855-948-2311. That's a VA hotline in the White House. It also can be used as a suicide line if you know someone who is having problems. 855-948-2311. Remember this website, Wounded Warriors Alabama, all one word, Wounded Warriors Alabama @gmail.com. Phone number is 256-458-2715. If you know of a veteran in need and hurting, got a problem, it does nothing to do with being wounded, give them a call, and they'll help you out. That's Ross Winter and his group. Firefighters Memorial, we have made the agreement. We are getting ready to dig up there in Centennial Park. and we will be building that firefighters memorial for all those that died in the line of duty in the state of Alabama. It's the official one for the state. I told you last week and that need any more wheelchairs, but I take that back because I just gave away one today. And so if you've got a wheelchair that works and you no longer need it, give me a call. I'll pick it up and make sure it works. Now, if it needs batteries, that's still $300 I can't afford. The flu fair. Flu fair is September the 29th from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. That's at the CBOC there behind Logan's, the VA clinic. Get your pneumonia shot while you're there too. So that's from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock on September the 29th. And if they got any other problems, talk to them about it, like blood pressure or whatever. Don't forget when you go to get your tag, think about the law enforcement tag. You're eligible for it. You don't have to be in law enforcement. But it does say that you support those who died in the line of duty in law enforcement. And the revenue from that tag goes to help build the memorials that we're building in the park and take care of adding names and et cetera that we use up there in the park. DAV does still need drivers for the van. It leaves out of Oxford around 6:30 in the morning. It takes the veterans over to Birmingham, and it also brings them back. I don't know if I'm taking them back over and leaving them, but if you'd like to be a driver for the DAV, just give me a call. I'll give you Paul Brulet's number, and you can contact him. There is a little bit of training that goes with it, but that's because you're hauling veterans, and the VA is responsible for that van and those veterans. Get you a choice card. I want to take mine out of my pocket, but it could take too much problem here to do that. But it's a simple little card that you can get with, and I use it a lot. If instead of going all the way to Birmingham, I use mine right here in the area. So for eyes, ears, whatever you want to use it for, the choice card is very important. They just extended that in Congress for 6 more months. So to see how it's going to work, I guess. And don't forget to pay it forward. I mean, I do this every day, and I get a lot more out of it than I put in it. And it makes you feel good when you do that. And you never know how you change in somebody's heart when you do that. And I could tell you stories of what is by giving $2 or $3 or a pay it forward thing has changed some people. And I know it personally has done that. This week's salute goes out to all the patriots up in Piedmont. All the patriots is up there, and I know who you are. The ones that's going to stand up to the council when it comes election time, all of them's going to stand up to the mayor and say, we care about our veterans. This is for you. We're gone.